Welcome to the Jamodi podcast, where we interview coaches and leaders to find out not just what they do, but how they do what they do. Becoming the best version of ourselves is Jamodi, just a matter of doing it. With your playing career, you've been able to be around some amazing leaders, some amazing coaches. So what were a few things that some of those special coaches did that you really appreciated or got a lot of from, and maybe around the way of culture and how they handled a team in a locker room?
Yeah, I had a chance to play, like you said, for a lot of coaches, a lot of different styles, a lot of different personalities, and so I feel like there's definitely things that there's pluses and minuses to everybody. Everybody had their things that I feel like helped me tremendously, and there was things that bothered me. And so and I've talked about this with Jerry Sloan. He's probably the greatest coach I've ever played for, and he had just a knack for getting guys to play hard, to play tough, to follow his system. He had some rules off the court that I just didn't really love and didn't agree with at the time. But like I said, I've talked about this now where I kind of realized the culture he was trying to build and the reason why he was doing some of those things. When at the time when you're 21, 22, 23 years old, you just don't understand. You just feel like he's just being, a dictator or difficult or whatever. It's kind of like Coach Thomas with his earring rule that only applied to like 3 people.
That's right.
I still give him crap like
that. He never once had to tell me about not to wear earrings. I just it wasn't going to happen. But the funny thing is, he had a no tattoo thing also. But like a year or two after I came back, all of a sudden, you and Bracy, man, there were tattoos around, and it was a little different.
We didn't have tattoos in high school.
No,
no. My mom would let me. My mom would let me. So
okay.
Literally, the first. And see, here's the thing. It's probably a bad thing because her not allowing me made me want to do it even more. I probably would have never even got a tattoo.
There's a parenting lesson there for sure.
Oh, 100%. But I at this point, I don't care.
Yeah,
kids can do whatever they want.
Yeah, but that's interesting. So being so young.
This is water. This is water, by the way. It's not a beer. It looks like a beer. I've never drank a beer in my life.
Darren, I'm so glad you just said that because I totally thought here's this guy just. It's
called liquid. It's called Liquid Death. I don't know if you see that. But it's I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but it's good water.
That's all right. I don't know who's going to watch it anyway, so it's not. So, and it's an interesting name for a water, Liquid Death.
Yeah, it's like murder your thirst is there.
But just so we're all clear, for the 5 people that will watch this, Darren is not drinking a beer.
Because it kind of looks like a.
It totally did. For the very first time, I was like, okay, well, that's cool. I'm glad he's that comfortable with me to do that.
I don't, beer anyways.
No doubt. That's funny. So you're 21, 22, 23, playing with a guy like Jerry Sloan. So what were some of the things that he did that you did admire that, you wouldn't mind sharing with coaches today that might help them with their teams?
Yeah, he just, he was very old school, right? So he was tough about his rules and the things the way he wanted things done, and we were always a very good executing team, and the amount of detail and the amount of times that we would go over an offense and plays is incredible. We started out every practice the same way. It was always with the same drills, offensive drills.
How does he keep you focused when you're at the level that you're at? Like, you're such a good player. How do you stay focused through that?
It was a lot of it was full court stuff. So it kind of you got your conditioning in it as well. So it was a lot of fun, I think. And then also he did, which I've never had happen with any other coach, is that he would make us play different positions. So like sometimes I would play the 5 or play the 4. Sometimes Carlos Boozer would bring the ball down because he wanted everybody to know every position so that you knew exactly where everybody was supposed to be You knew how to
I've never
screen.
heard that before. That's the first time I've ever heard that.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a reason why we were such a good offensive executing team is because we always knew exactly where we're supposed to be.
Yeah, not just like as a point guard like you were, not that just you knew where they were supposed to be. You actually knew what it felt like to
Mm-hmm.
be there in those shoes. I mean, it just gives you a deeper understanding of what he's trying to have you do.
Yeah.
It's a great idea. What about so off the court? Yeah, there are definitely some rules, but like within an NBA locker room, I mean, you guys are all professionals. You're adults at that point too, but at different ages. What were some things that you felt like made either Utah or anywhere that you played a unique culture, something that you appreciated even later on?
See, that's the thing about like when you're in the NBA, it's not much of that. That's more done on your own, and I think that's more about the team, like the individual teams and individuals on the team. And so we were actually a really close team in Utah when I was there, and so I would actually I always did like a Halloween party that kind of kicked off the year because it's October. It's like right before the season starts or around when the season starts, and so I'd get everybody together at my house and we'd have a costume party, Halloween party, things like that. You go to dinner with guys, with a group of guys, and I think that's the things that you have to do on your own. Whereas in college, you're going over to the coach's house. You're always doing things as a team. You're going
mandatory
out,
fun,
party.
mandatory fun
Exactly.
in college. Yeah,
exactly. In the NBA, it's some guys they're going home to their families. They got wives, they got kids. They want to spend time with them, and so it's a little different.
Thank you for checking out today's episode. Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast, share it with your fellow coaches, and find us on social media for what's coming up next on the Jamodi podcast. It's just a matter of doing it.